And a very warm welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show, Expresso, on SABC3. Now, on the early hours of Sunday morning, a 29-year-old armed male walked into Pulse, a gay nightclub situated in Orlando, Florida, and opened fire, killing 50 people and wounding 53. Now, this event has been described as the largest massacre in United States history, with a death toll at 50 human lives. Now, there are many labeling this as an act of terrorism and a hate crime, but one thing we know for sure, that it was a sad day for humanity. Of course, especially more so for the LGBTQ community as well. Now, joining us on Skype right now is T.J Hickman. Now, he's a firefighter and volunteer on the ground, and also a social worker and trauma counsellor, Charmian Altamarino. We'll chat to her in a minute. But first, let's quickly connect with T.J. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us, T.J. Can you give us a bit of a brief explanation, maybe a bit more detail into what happened that night?
I only know what I have been reading in the news media reports and what the law enforcement briefings have been. What it appears is that about 2 o'clock in the morning local time, this individual arrived at Pulse, which is a big, well-known Orlando gay club, and began shooting. He exchanged fire with Orlando police officers who were actually already on scene there, and then went inside the club and proceeded to shoot up the club. And then he barricaded himself, took hostages and barricaded himself in one of the bathrooms who were left in the club, and that's when the SWAT team moved in to take him out, and that was about 5 o'clock in the morning, local times.
And of course, there's been many media reports and lots of speculation, but is there any more information guiding us towards the motivation for this crime?
As you know, asking why he chose to do this is something that we're all asking. It's something that, you know, is an ongoing discussion on social media. I was just commenting and discussing with some friends on Facebook 30 minutes ago as to what the motivations were. You know, yesterday the shooter's father was saying that it was homophobia, that it wasn't religion, that he was motivated by seeing two men kissing down in Miami, and that kind of set him off. But then we now know that apparently he called 911 and pledged his allegiance to ISIS during the event. So, you know, there's a lot of debate going on as to, do we call this a hate crime? Is this an act of Islamic terrorism or what? And you know, my personal thing is I don't see why it can't be both.
Now, what's the atmosphere like now in the city of Orlando? My understanding is that the community is really standing together. There's a lot of people who are coming out to donate blood for those that were injured.
The atmosphere in Orlando right now is surprisingly good, I think. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, you drive down the streets and you see billboards, you see signs, and Orlando Strong has kind of become the rallying cry for the city. When the call went out yesterday that they were in urgent need of blood donations, the response of the city has just been overwhelming. LGBT issues are a contentious issue in the United States, and you know, to see that even though this was an attack on a gay club, that the community and to see that Orlando is still standing by its people and standing by its citizens and trying to do what we can to help, it's great.
Well, TJ, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and please send our regards and our prayers to all of those families affected in Orlando. And as I said earlier on, we're also joined by social worker and trauma counsellor Charmian. Thank you very much for taking your time to be here with us.
Thank you.
How does an event like this affect a community, and in particular the LGBTQ community?
Well, I think we all have a sense, or draw comfort from a sense of predictability in our world, and that has been totally shattered. So the core values of trust and feeling safe in the world is lost. And I think when those go, there's a sense of loss of control, a sense of just feeling safe in your world, and that fear and doubt do creep in.
Yeah.
And how it affects you.
Yeah. And so for those affected, those families out there, the friends who've lost loved ones, those who were injured in this, how do you even begin to deal with this, to process it and get over that trauma? How do you do that?
I think it's a long road to healing and recovery, because a lot of people are grieving. You know, people are really badly injured. But probably if you had to look at steps to help you, I think certainly the support of your community is vital, how everybody is rallying around. But it's very important to find a therapist who can be an anchor, be in a support group with people who've gone through the same trauma. If medication is indicated for anxiety or depression, to use it when symptoms are very, very severe and intense. And then also to give people education about the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, because the symptoms themselves can be very overwhelming and frightening for people. And if you don't know what's happening, you can almost feel like you're losing your mind.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being here with us this morning and sharing your
Pleasure.
expertise with us. And now to everyone out there who would like to stand in solidarity with these families and share their feelings, of course, regarding this tragedy, there will be a vigil held in Cape Town for those who'd like to pay their respects on the 16th of June. That's this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. at Pride Shelter in Oranjezicht. Right now, here's Leanne with the headlines.